Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
It's a Prosperity Minute with Greg Ellie and the Prosperity Group in Sarasota.
What is your Social Security strategy? Are you aware that we have a vehicle that I've coined the phrase a P-slip? That's right, a P-slip. It stands for a properly structured life insurance plan. Did you know that you can set one that's properly structured so that you can extract tax-free revenue from your account? If you want to learn how you can do this, and in some instances have a bank add 3 times into your account, please give me a call.
Safe money strategies from the Prosperity Group include retirement planning, wealth management, tax planning, and estate and legacy planning. The Prosperity Group online at mymoneyissafe.com or call 800-440-0434. That's mymoneyissafe.com or call 800-440-0434.
WGUL and W229DJ Dunedin. Powered by Prosperity Group. Contact Greg Ellie today at 864-989-0176.
Get your daily dose of Dennis Prager at PragerTopia.com. Hear the Happiness Hour, Celebrity Guest Day, Male-Female Hour, Ultimate Issues Hour, and Open Lines. PragerTopia.com.
With SRN News, I'm Michael Harrington in Washington. President Trump says he will fire some FBI agents who worked on January 6th U.S. Capitol riot cases. White House correspondent Greg Clugston has that story.
As the Justice Department reviews how the agency handled investigations into the January 6 attack on the Capitol, the president is vowing that some FBI agents will be fired.
We had some corrupt agents, and those people are gone, or they will be gone, and it'll be done quickly and very surgically.
Critics fear the president is carrying out a purge of FBI and Justice Department officials who not only played roles in the January 6 prosecutions, but in criminal cases against Donald Trump. Greg Clugston, the White House.
The Trump administration affirms its stand for religious liberty.
Vice President J.D. Vance expressed this commitment.
We must stand for religious freedom, not just as a legal principle, as important as that is, but as a lived reality.
He evoked the experience of the early church.
Early Christians, of course, suffered greatly, and unfortunately, many Christians still suffer today at the hands of oppressive state power.
He laid claim to America's moral responsibility at home and abroad,
and possessed the moral clarity to act when something has gone wrong.
These remarks from the Vice President's speech to the annual International Religious Freedom Summit in Washington, D.C. George Williams reporting.
The president is suggesting that Nippon Steel will no longer buy U.S. steel as planned, but the Japanese company will instead invest in the symbolically important American business. Hamas has released 3 gaunt, frail-looking Israeli hostages, and Israel has freed 183 Palestinian prisoners in the 5th exchange of a ceasefire that has paused the war in Gaza. The hostages' conditions and scenes of Hamas forcing them to speak has outraged Israelis. This is SRN News.
You heard me talk about Relief Factor and how so many people enjoy a better, more pain-free life because of it. If you're dealing with everyday pain, it makes sense you'd want to try it first. Well, Relief Factor makes that pretty pain-free too with their 3-week quick start kit for only $19.95. An easy, affordable way to see how it could literally change your life, like it has mine. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain temporarily, it helps reduce or eliminate pain. In fact, the longer you take it, the more effective it it is. Try and it couldn't be easier with their 3-week quick start for only $19.95, less than $1 a day. And it just takes a phone call to 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4RELIEF. 1-800-4RELIEF. Wherever you're having pain, every day you feel better is a day you live better. Try Relief Factor's 3-week quick start. Visit ReliefFactor.com. That's ReliefFactor.com, or call 1-800-4RELIEF, 800-4RELIEF for Relief Factor.
At Simple Path Retirement, we don't answer to corporate management or shareholders. We answer to you. Start living your best life today. Visit SimplePathRetirement.com.
Just when you thought your smartphone couldn't get any smarter, now you can add the AM860 app with local news, national headlines, and commentary. The answer is smart. Adding the AM860 app to your smartphone is genius. Get it now at the Apple App Store and Google Play.
For today, partly sunny with a high of 80. Tonight, clear skies, low 62. Tomorrow, warm with plenty of sunshine with a high of 82. Tomorrow night, clear skies, low 66. On Tuesday, some clouds and sunny with a high of 82. Tuesday night, clear and warm, low 67. Get your weather news when and how you want it, wherever you are. Download our free app or visit AccuWeather.com. That's your AccuWeather forecast. I'm Caitlin Lawrence for AM 860, The Answer.
The following program is sponsored by Bay Area Medical Can Care Clinic.
Go, Doc.
Good morning, everybody. This is Dr. Bill, your radio MD. I got Ken with me, and this is Super Bowl Sunday, buddy boy.
Hey,
did you know that the majority of the country would like to see tomorrow, Monday, Super Bowl Monday, as a national holiday, which I've said for a long time is a good idea. I think we ought to get rid of Juneteenth or one of these other holidays and just make this the National Athletic and Have Fun Day. I don't know.
National Have Fun Day. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good thing. We got to do that. Any rate.
Well, I heard like 20 million people are taking the day off anyway.
Yeah. Everybody calls in sick anyway.
Bunches of them I know already got the time off. They're just taking a vacation day. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got to sober up.
What a game's well, how much of a party are you going to have? I mean, this game starts at 6:30. It's over by 9:30.
I know, but, that's 3 hours of heavy drinking and cheering. So
yeah, but most of it's some of these tailgating parties will start at 3 in the afternoon,
I know, and, a lot of people go to the younger people go to the sports bars, and they sit there all afternoon and look at all the pregame stuff and, eat and drink and have fun, and that's okay, That's a good thing.
And if you don't know, the NFL channel is free this weekend.
The NFL what?
The NFL channel on cable is free this weekend.
Oh, it's free? Oh, good deal.
Yeah, I've been watching it the last couple of days. So.
Speaking of channels, if you're trying to find me on Facebook, it's William Handelman now. I can't figure out how to get into the old sites, but I'm working on it.
Your Radio MD site, that one?
Yeah. This is William Handelman only. Yeah, Radio MD. I can't figure out because I have an old email address, and they keep asking for a security number on the Authenticator app. But to get the number on the Authenticator app, you have to get into the Facebook, and you have to click on the little Q-tree, the little scan thing.
Well, if you say so, Doc. I don't know.
So I can't get. It's a circle.
So just let's tell them again. Where should they go now if they want to see you? Because you got a lot of charts you're going to be given today, I think.
William Handelman, Handelman.
All right.
So that's available for you, and we're also on YouTube and Twitter and Twitch, and I don't know what all Joe's sending it out to, but he's got it out there.
Yeah, YouTube should be going too. Yeah, you're right. No, you should be able to find us, no problem.
Yep, you should be able to find me somewhere. So I had an interesting case this week. A guy came into the office, Canadian. He was having visual field defects, his vision. So he would have half of visual field on the same side in both eyes. So we call that homonymous hemianopsia, which is hard for me to pronounce, so I'm not going to say it again.
Anyway, Wait. Say this again. He had half vision in both eyes.
Half vision in both eyes.
Same half or different halves? Side. Different halves? I mean, could you put them together? No. Could he see like a full view?
No. He could see, but the halves were on the same side, so it was both the right half of the right eye and the right half of the left eye. And this traditionally is a stroke back in the back of the brain in what we call the occipital lobe, which is where the visual field and vision nerves and everything end up, and that's how we form images, is with the brain taking all this data from the eye and putting it together. So we got our own little computer back there. So then he was in atrial fibrillation, which is an irregular heart rate. And of course, the main concern was that he had a clot in his heart, because with atrial fibrillation, you can get sludging of blood in the left atrium. And when that does happen, then you can have a clot, because you got to keep your blood mixed up. We're constantly clotting and breaking down clots. So, and indeed he did. I did a transesophageal echo on him, and he had a little clot in his left atrium, and the MRI showed the stroke. And then he went into a real slow heart rate, and what we call sick sinus syndrome, where his ventricular rate was in the 30s, and that's not a good thing. It's hard to function when your heart's not pumping.
Yeah. Doesn't sound good.
So
for
we
this
had
guy.
to send him to Northside for a pacemaker. And you can see the pacemaker behind me if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. We usually put it in the left chest. It's about the size of a silver dollar. And it's got lead wires that we thread through the artery, the veins, into the right side of the heart. And we can put one lead in the right atrium and one lead in the right ventricle. And then we can have a sequential, what we call AV, atrioventricular pacemaker. And that makes the heartbeat more in synchrony. And we can use these pacemakers for a sick sinus node. And the sinus node is the main pacemaker of the heart, and that's in the right atrium. That is innervated by the sympathetic nervous system. So we have it's an involuntary autonomic system. We can't really control it. We can meditate and slow it down that way, but we can't, say stop beating like we can lift up an arm or start beating. So that sinus node becomes damaged over time. It most commonly is just from age and senility. The heart has a senile aspect to it as well.
I didn't know that either.
Yep. And so then when that happens, if it slows down too much, then we have to put in a pacemaker. You can also have a block from the top part of the heart, the atria, down into the bottom part of the heart, because of course the impulse has to get from the top of the heart down to the bottom of the heart to make it beat. And it makes sense that it starts in the top of the heart, because the top of the heart, you want that to squeeze first and fill up the bottom of the heart, and then the bottom of the heart to squeeze. So if you have a block going down there, then you will need a pacemaker as well.
How long does aren't you really kind of just putting your life in the hands of the Energizer Bunny when you get a pacemaker? How long does battery last in there?
Oh, the new ones, they last 15, 20 years.
Oh, no kidding, that long. All right.
Yeah, they're high tech. And the pacemakers are so small you don't even notice it when you put on your T-shirt or your Dago T-shirt. You remember they used to wear back when we were kids, with the no arms and the low cut and all that.
Mm. So that's all right. Well, I didn't know that. And when you get a pacemaker, is it an outpatient thing, or do you have to stay overnight?
We like you to stay overnight so we can make sure that the leads don't come loose. Now, it takes a couple of weeks for them to really form some scar tissue. They do have little corkscrews on the end of the leads, and we can screw that in. And then when you got to take them out, you got to use a special wire to go in and unscrew them. It's interesting. It's a little bit of carpentry work.
Okay, well, you got to know what you're doing. That's why you get the big bucks.
Yeah, and you have to be careful not to go punch through the ventricle, right ventricle, which is fairly thin-walled, because then you'll have a bleed around the heart, and that's a big problem.
All right. Well, hope this guy's going to be okay. He's from Canada. He's from our 51st state.
Yeah. Well, no, part of Illinois is breaking away from several counties, and they're going to form their own state. They'll be the 51st, so Canada will have to now be the 52nd state.
Now, they're not, you got that wrong, Doctor, just joining Indiana. They're not breaking away to form their own state.
They're debating whether or not they want to be their own state or join Indiana.
Well, right now, they're leaning towards joining Indiana.
Yeah, I think they are going to join Indiana, but I think Congress has to approve that, don't they?
I would think so, yes.
And both legislatures have to approve it?
Probably, yeah. And both governors are going to have to sign bills.
Yeah, both governors. So
one is Republican and one is Democrat. I'm not sure how this is going to work out.
Well, do you think that if Illinois refuses, Indiana may invade them? And is that possible?
The Hoosiers are coming. The Hoosiers are coming.
The regional civil war.
Well, considering, it's possible. It's happened before in this country.
Yeah, the Fighting Illini.
The Fighting Illini. That's why they call them the Fighting Illini, I guess.
Yeah. And you're still broadcasting up there.
Yeah, that's right. In the afternoons, I have a little thing I do up there on the internet.
Well, good for you.
So that would be fun. From my standpoint, it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So
Covering
we
news
have
up there could be interesting.
other causes of the heart slowing down. Certain medications can slow the heart down too much. And this guy was on some eye drops that were for glaucoma, and they were beta blocker eye drops. And beta blockers, as you may or may not know, slow the heart down. And so I stopped that, and his heart rate came up some, and then it went back down. So then we put him in the ICU and sent him over to Northside Hospital for a pacemaker. And we can also put in pacemakers to get both of the ventricles working together. So if you have a serious conduction problem between the two ventricles, you may have dyssynchrony where they're squeezing at the wrong time, and they squeeze against each other, so to speak. So the blood coming back from the lungs may be blocked by the left ventricle trying to pump it out to the body. So we got to get everything synchronized again. And we even use it for people who have a certain type of passing out syndrome, neurocardiogenic syncope. Syncope means to pass out. And so we use it for that. And we have some different things that we use it for. And it's a pretty good, pretty neat thing. I mean, it's saved thousands, probably millions of people's lives.
Is this major surgery, considered major surgery?
No.
No. All right.
No, this is pretty easy. So you make a little incision in the skin above the left breast, and you make a little pocket there. So you take your knife or whatever, and you cut away some of the fatty tissue and open up a little pocket there, and then you can drop the pacemaker in there, and you take the wires and you go through the subclavian vein, which is right under your clavicle, right above that area. So we can go, while we're there, we can go right into that vein through the pocket opening, and we wiggle the wire down, and we get it down into the atrium and the ventricle, and we put some juice on it, hook everything up, put some juice on it, make sure it's working, take a close look at everything, and then suture back up the skin. So it's pretty much like a skin laceration.
And they knock you out for that?
Yeah, we knock you out because we don't want to hear you whining. We're sick of whining.
No convincing. No. We know what we're doing. We don't need your help.
We're like, shut up, go to sleep.
That's a question I have for you. Let me ask you a question. I almost looked this up on the internet the other day. You may not know. I know you're not an anesthesiologist, but you probably know the answer to this. Why do anesthesiologists have you count backwards from 99?
Say that a little louder or turn your feet up. Why do anesthesiologists
have you count backwards from 99 when you're being put to sleep? They say count backwards from 99.
We don't do that anymore. We used to do that because once you stop counting, we know you're asleep.
Oh, that's it. That's the only reason. Okay.
Then we can start cutting.
All right.
When you stop counting, we're there with the knives, baby.
Because I had a lot of surgery as a kid, so I know A lot of that.
Yeah. Well, with the ether, they did that, but we really don't do that anymore.
Right.
You and I, we grew up in the ether age. That was horrible, horrible stuff.
Oh, it would make you vomit like crazy sometimes, yeah.
Headaches and everything. So at any rate, nowadays we use much higher tech, better things. For short procedures, we use propofol, which is just an unbelievably miraculous drug. You are sitting there 1 minute, and the next minute you're in another room waking up from whatever procedure you had, and you've had the best nap of your life. It's like being dead. I mean, you don't dream, you don't have, I mean, there's nothing. Your brain is shut down. It's really a wonderful feeling. And everybody's like, that's the best nap I ever had. Yeah, it is.
All right. Is that what dentists use? I know dentists have a pretty good anesthetic. Yeah.
Dentists, no, they use the laughing gas.
Oh, okay.
Now, the oral surgeons probably use the propofol, but they do their work in outpatient clinics, or they have their offices set up, and you really need an anesthesiologist or a nurse anesthetist there for using a big drug like propofol, because that's considered general anesthesia. That's not light, but laughing gas is lighter. So you tell them, hold this up to your face and breathe, and then when they drop the mask and start giggling, you know that they're far enough out that you can go ahead and yank a few teeth out.
Well, I'm sorry, we digressed there. I'm sorry I took you off on that tangent there for a second.
That's okay. I love yanking teeth. I mean, I've always dreamed of doing that.
Be a dentist? Yeah? Okay.
Well, no, be a torturer.
Oh, I'll say, I'm sorry. I thought you were trying to heal there. But
no, I didn't. I don't want to jump specialties. I just want to
all right.
See people squirm. No, not really.
Just come at them with a drill, right?
You know, nowadays the drills are much quieter, and the drilling's much more genteel, and they use a lot more numbing medicine, and they figured out that there's an accessory nerve on the inside of the teeth, and if they get that numbed up, and so it's really dentistry's gotten a lot more humane, shall I say.
Okay, well, I still don't like going there. Love going to your office, though.
Well, yeah, we got nice people, and we take good care of you.
And if you get a shot, you don't even know it. You barely know it if you get a shot at Doc's office.
Yeah, and 99% of the people that come to the office stick with me unless they have to change their insurance plan, and they like me. God knows why. I haven't figured it out yet, and they think I'm funny because I kid around with them, and you know they're.
Plus, you're a radio star.
I'm gonna live, Doc. And I said, nope. This is it. It's all over, and then I say to the wives, well, if you're sick of him, I've got a 6-foot trench I dug outside. I got my backhoe back there.
See, you get a cure and entertainment when you go see Doc.
That's right, and some of the young nurses, when they come make rounds with me, they're like, "Oh my God, he is horrible," and the patients are all laughing, and the older nurses are, they're saying, "He's just that way. Just ignore him."
Now you're a great doc. So.
Well, I'm trying my best for God, country, and the American way of life. Now, we're busy this time of year, so we miss a few things, but I go back over it. And one guy, he had an abnormal CT of the chest, of the coronary arteries, and he had a little aneurysmal sac outpouching on one of the coronary arteries. Oh, his wife was hot because I didn't go over it with him, because I didn't. If the patient doesn't tell me, oh, by the way, I had this study, can we look at that too? I'm looking at other things that were done in office. So it's always good to remind your doctor about what you've had done and why you're there to see him, because we can't remember everything, most things, but
Well, yeah, but especially if you're seeing a couple of doctors for a couple of things, you guys have to coordinate, don't you?
Well, yeah, and people come in and say, well, you're supposed to know, Doc, you ordered it. And I'm like, well, I can't remember what happened last week. So give me a little clue here. Does it have something to do with the heart?
Well, I'm coming in, I guess, next week. I think I'm coming into your office again. Maybe the week after, somewhere around
there. Well, good.
I got one of them sonograms on my heart coming up.
There we go. Make some money for the mama.
That's right.
She gets her purse money from that.
You guys need another cruise.
I'm reluctant to go with her again on a trip, but I guess a cruise I can handle. Because you only have to unpack once.
That's right.
So that's a good thing about the cruise.
And boats are really big if you want to lose each other. It's not too tough.
Yeah, and the only way you can really leave the boat is if you fall off. And I figure if she falls off, it's not going to make a whole lot of difference what I think or feel anyway.
There's a fine line between falling and being pushed. So keep that in
I'm
mind.
not going to push her. She's too cute for that.
All right. Just keep in mind there are cameras everywhere.
Yeah, they've got cameras everywhere. So, the Russian guys that come and say, you want to come to our room and party, and you say no, and then they throw you overboard. They don't do that much anymore because all the cameras.
Right. Exactly.
So at any rate, the president has put a new man in charge at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which is an independent agency. Why do we have all these independent agencies? I don't know. Of the United States government responsible for consumer protection in the financial sector. So they look at loans and loan rates and credit cards and the practices of companies that make loans. And, they go after people that they think are being prejudiced or are overcharging or have unfair practices or are pestering you to death and, having collectors call and all that. And there are some rules already in place, but this was just another layer of bureaucracy that came in during the Obama era. And Trump tried to decrease it during his first term, and now he's just going in there and he's going to wipe it out, I think. And so there's going to be another big legal battle over that because the left wings in Congress are going to say he doesn't have that power legally to do what he's doing in this agency, but they're already sending people home and taking care of business in a different way. So,
well, it's all going to end up in the courts, like you said. So,
yeah, and I think that the ultimate end is going to be that the president's just going to have a royal presidency. He's going to have a dictatorial presidency and figure it's all going to get undone when the Democrats get back in anyway.
Yeah,
so a lot of people,
I'd like to see him do something more permanent. I'd like to see the White House get the line item veto. I would really like to see that.
No, the Supreme Court threw that out.
That was a different court. We'll take our chances again.
Well, we could, but the problem is you're saying what you're doing is you're saying that the president has legislative powers, and of course, that's not the way the Constitution is set up. So then the legislature has to fight out what they want in a bill, and that's the art of compromise. But part of that compromise is that we end up with all these stupid programs like giving money to the starving children in Biafra, although they haven't been starving now for 40 years. We're still funding that. And then we're giving money to the Israelis to fight Hamas, and we're giving money to Hamas to fight the Israelis. Now, wait a minute. Well, is this a football game or what?
Is this a situation comedy, Doc? That's what it is. It's a situation comedy now.
It's like the Super Bowl, half the country's for Kansas City and the other half's for Philadelphia.
Which side are you on, by the way? Who do you like?
Well, I would like to see a team east of the Mississippi win, but I think Kansas City's everybody's saying, though, that Philadelphia's got the better team, but Kansas City's got Mahomes, and they've got the best coach. So we'll see what happens.
I guess Kansas City favored by 1, so it should be a great game.
Yeah, and
come on over, Doc. We'll have a barbecue.
Yeah. Oh, you are?
Well, I will if you show up. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll have to see because I might not be able to get the wife out of her chair after she's had a couple of glasses of wine this afternoon. She'll be
put a blanket on her, wish her a good night, and take off.
Yeah, and remember now, age and guile will always overcome youth and exuberance. So Kansas City has the age and the guile. And Tom Brady and and his coach, what was his coach's name?
That was Billy Chick. Billy Chick.
Yeah. Yeah. They always had some illegal activity going on right before the Super Bowl.
Seemed that
Did you
way, didn't
notice
it?
that there was always something in the press that they were spying on the other team or the balls were underinflated. And it was always a week or two before the Super Bowl when they were on their way there. These two guys were just past masters at marketing and also at getting the other side psyched out before the game started.
Yep.
So that's what you got to do. You got to use a little guile and a little PR, and that's the way you make things work, Ken.
Well, Trump's going to be the first president ever to watch a football game while in Super Bowl football game while in office. So, little history.
Oh, really?
Today. Yeah, this is the first time the sitting president never gone to a Super Bowl before, apparently.
Well, I mean, he should. The president should, because that really is our national sport now.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I don't want to take it away from baseball yet.
No, but, you have a lot more people watching football than you do baseball.
I'll give you that. It's the national sport. Baseball is a pastime.
Mm-hmm.
You got a lot of time in the summer, sit around, so you watch a baseball game. Enjoy the sunshine, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so you take me out to the ball game.
That'd make a great song. That'd make a great song. We should write something like that. Doc, it's a guy, we kind of meandered around here for a little bit. You want to take a break? I got a question we can ask if you want.
Yeah, let's ask a question, take a break. I'll grab some Joe and put a new Depends on, and we'll get back at it.
All right. This is good for a Dr. Bill, your Radio MD coffee mug. 1. Dr. Bill, your Radio MD coffee mug, if you're the first person to answer this question at this phone number. It's 813-282-8283. That's 282-8283. Be the first person with the correct answer. It's a yes or no answer, so it shouldn't be too tough for you. You got a 50-50 chance, even if you didn't hear the question. Discussion earlier this half hour. We were talking about pacemakers, and the question is receiving a pacemaker considered major surgery? Yes or no? So if you know the answer, give us a call at 813-282-8283. First correct answer wins. Ain't that so, Doc?
That's so, and I know the answer, Ken. Can I get a mug?
No, sorry.
I've already got
You're
some.
disqualified.
I'm disqualified. And by the way, if you're trying to find me on Facebook, go to or Google William Handelman when you go to your Facebook. Type in William Handelman, Handelman, and you should be able to find me. And sorry that I lost people for a couple of weeks there, but we'll get it back up and running.
Absolutely. That's right. We'll be back live here just a little bit.
In just a bit, I'm Dr. Bill, your Radio MD.
At Simple Path Retirement, we can offer many of the resources of the large firms, but with the personal attention of a boutique firm. Visit simplepathretirement.com.
With SRN News, I'm Michael Harrington in Washington. President Trump is suggesting that Nippon Steel will no longer buy U.S. steel as planned, but the Japanese company will instead invest in the symbolically important American business. It's Nippon Steel's bid that generated controversy as both Mr. Trump and his predecessor in the White House, Joe Biden, vowed to block the merger. Mr. Trump said at a news conference with Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba that Nippon Steel, quote, is going to be doing something very exciting about U.S. steel. Hamas has released 3 gaunt, frail-looking Israeli hostages, and Israel has freed 183 Palestinian prisoners in the 5th exchange of a ceasefire that has paused the war in Gaza. The hostages' condition and scenes of Hamas forcing them to speak in the handover have sparked outrage in Israel. Families again fear for the dozens of others still held by the terrorists. This is SRN News.
Dr. Bill for Bay Area Medical, located at 6399 38th Avenue North in St. Pete, 727-384-6411, 727-384-6411. Full-service clinic with x-ray, heart imaging, ultrasound, stress testing, and minor surgery. We provide quality health care in a warm and friendly atmosphere. We are multilingual, well-trained, and certified. Most American insurance and new patients accepted. Bay Area Medical, home of can care, 727-384-6411. 6411, 727-384-6411. Dr. Bill here. With social distancing and sheltering in place, telemedicine is here. Bay Area Medical Home of Can Care Clinic offers telemedicine for new and established patients. You can see me without an in-office visit. Schedule an appointment at 727-384-6411, 727-384-6411. When it's time for your appointment, type this web address into your cell phone or computer web browser, doxy.me/Bay Area Med. A cell phone works well and is all you really need. For computers, you need a web camera and speakers. We'll give you this address when you call for your appointment. We accept most insurances and travel insurances. Canadians and visitors, please call your travel insurance company for an authorization number prior to the visit. Copays and deductibles apply. Self-pay rates are available. Just ask. We accept credit cards, PayPal, and Stripe. 727-384-6411. 727-384-6411. Dr. Bill here. My friends at St. Pete MRI and Sleep Diagnostics are your best choice for state-of-the-art MRI, CT, and sleep studies. Quality unsurpassed. 25 years experience makes St. Pete MRI my go-to imaging center. Self-pay rates are competitive and out-of-pocket cost a fraction of a hospital. Conveniently accessible from both sides of the bay at 750 94th Avenue North, St. Pete, near the Gandy. 727-577-2220, 727-577-2220.
Get your daily dose of Dennis Prager at PragerTopia.com. Hear the Happiness Hour, Celebrity Guest Day, Male-Female Hour, Ultimate Issues Hour, and Open Lines. PragerTopia.com.
For today, partly sunny with a high of 80. Tonight, clear skies, low 62. Tomorrow, warm with plenty of sunshine with a high of 82. Tomorrow night, clear skies, low 66. On Tuesday, some clouds and sunny with a high of 82. Tuesday night, clear and warm, low 67. Get your weather news when and how you want it, wherever you are. Download our free app or visit AccuWeather.com. That's your AccuWeather forecast. I'm Caitlin Lawrence for AM 860, The Answer.
Go, Doc.
And I'm back. This is Dr. Bill. I got Ken by my side, and we're doing a show. And what are we talking about this morning, Ken? I kind of lost my train of thought there. We kind of want to...
Well, first, I can tell you, first we have a winner.
Already?
Yes, absolutely. They got this one right away. Phones just lit up. So they were all paying attention this morning. Well, the question, first of all, was, putting a pacemaker in, is that considered major surgery? And the answer is, Doc.
No.
No, it is not. And if you listen to the show's first half, you would have known that, as Harry Boyd did. Harry Boyd of beautiful Holiday, Florida, is our winner. He picks up that Dr. Bill, your Radio MD coffee mug. Your coffee will taste better just because of it.
Harry, we appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for listening, and thanks for calling in. Where's Holiday, by the way?
Oh, wow. I'm not quite sure. I think it's down by Sarasota, kind of east of Sarasota,
okay.
I think.
All right.
In that area. I think so. Maybe not. Maybe it's north. Hang on a second. Let me get my phone out.
Get your phone out.
It is north. It's north of Tampa.
Ah.
North of Tarpon Springs, anyway. Between Tarpon Springs and Newport Richey. There you go.
That's up there, isn't it?
That's up there, yeah.
We're really spreading out here, bud.
Hey, we're becoming a national thing, you know?
We are. Now, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, if you look at your screen, and those of you who are listening on the radio, I've got a picture of a little shrew, and Ken brought this to my attention. So the shrew is it's in the mouse family, and they're little bitters. Yeah. So it's a little rat-like thing, but supposedly now they're carrying a virus, or they've isolated a virus from this little creature. And what'd you call it? The Camp Hill virus? Is
something
that what
like
you
that?
call
Yeah,
it?
exactly. It's down in Alabama right now, I think is where they have it.
Yeah, and it's being studied. So the problem is that this is supposed to be some kind of a super duper virus that's going to kill us all.
Right. The headline ones could wipe out mankind or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but nobody's died from it yet. So apparently its reputation is bigger than its. And you have to kiss a shrew, by the way, to get it.
Well, I won't be doing that anytime soon.
And
now, what
the
about
reason
this?
they say?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Doc. I interrupted you there.
That's okay. The reason they say that this virus is so deadly is because it belongs to a family of viruses called the Hanapavirus genus, and this includes a couple of viruses that are in Australia and Southeast Asia and China, and I guess there have been some people that died from it, but it can cause up to 50% mortality death rate, and it causes a respiratory infection, and also it can cause an infection in the brain called encephalitis.
But is it transmittable through from person to person?
I guess it is, but I got rid of all the shrews in my life, and I'm just dealing with one little Korean right now.
So we can't kill all the shrews.
No, you cannot. That's illegal. They'll lock you up. And oh, you mean the little mouse?
The mouse, thing, yeah, not.
Oh, okay.
Not the wife. No.
Yeah, I was at a party last night. It was my birthday, by the way.
Oh, well, happy belated birthday, Doc.
And so one of the women said, "Are you still not going to church?" And I said, "No, I'm not going to church." And I said, "Why?" And she says, "Don't you want to go to heaven?" I said, "Are you kidding? I'll be up there with all my ex-wives, St. Anne, St. Mary, St. Myung-Ju. I'm going to hell with my friends." I mean, that would be like all eternity up in heaven with all those girls. I think really heaven is for girls and hell is for boys. I think I don't think hell's as bad as it's made up to be, and I don't think heaven's all that good either. So you're gonna and purgatory is where you meet for connubial visits.
Purgatory. I haven't heard that phrase in a long time.
That's my theory. Now, I don't know if that's a good theory or a bad theory, but I kind of like it.
All right, well, I'm sure the football games are much better in hell than they are in heaven. There are probably tag football games in heaven.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's the Pro Bowl all over and over and over again in heaven. Yeah.
Well, that's the only bad thing. You have to watch reruns. So.
But in hell, they actually rip the head off the other players. So.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
See? We're sick, Doc. Both of us.
Absolutely, but we're fun. And that's
we are.
What's important.
We haven't lost our sense of humor.
No, you got to keep that.
Doc got in trouble yesterday last week because he totally joked to somebody and they didn't like it.
Oh, I said something about, they were liberal. I said, "Oh, God, get my gun. I'm going to shoot him." And workplace violence and, he's being mean, and she was a left-winger and a never-Trumper. And, oh,
and
God, I called the front office for that.
She actually expected you to get a gun and shoot her, huh? Well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, after being on staff for almost 30 years now, and I haven't shot anybody yet, you'd think there'd be a little bit of history there.
Yeah, I think they give you a little leeway there. Yeah. Oh, well. So we just have fun. That's why people listen to this show, because we just have fun with stuff.
Yeah, and information and fun and a little bit of medicine. And you can learn a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And it gives you something to talk about.
And then you go see Doc. If you're serious about a problem, you got to go see. He's a great doctor.
That's right. And I'm at 727-384-6411. And don't forget, if you want to find me on Facebook, type in William Handelman on your Facebook browser page, and you should be able to pull me up so that I'm back on air, buddy boy.
That's right. You're sounding good this morning. What else we got to talk about? We got about 19 minutes left here or so. 17,
well, DOGE has gone after the Agency for International Development. And I had a conversation with one of the liberal nurses yesterday about that, and she was worried that the poor little children that are starving are not going to get something to eat. And I said, Rose, that stuff never gets to them anyway. It goes to the terrorists and the thugs and the gangs, and they turn around and sell it. And
I got some advice for all those folks. Same advice Sam Kinison used to have. Move to where the food is. Get out of the desert. There's nothing here but sand. Nothing is going to grow here because it's sand. So move to where the food is. We have trucks. We'll come and get you.
We'll pick you up. And I think that Arizona's got some open space there, but it's pretty sandy though.
Yeah, exactly. You can't live in a desert. Sorry. There's no water, no food, nothing.
Well, you can if there's an oasis and you got a deep well. That's how the Saudis survived all those thousands of years. They just started digging wells. Now, if you went in somebody else's well, you'd probably get your head chopped off. But
or you could just move to a town somewhere where they have all the pipes and things.
Or start a town.
There you go. Start your own town.
Yeah, part of the problem though, Ken, is these are women and children largely who have been displaced by
war and famine,
wars
and all that stuff,
and conflicts and civil disputes between different tribes. Problem with sub-Saharan Africa is it's just so damn tribal still. And as long as you have that sense of, well, we're going to get in power and then we're going to take our fair share while we're in, then the next guy comes along and does the same thing.
Nothing gets done, right?
Takes from you. Then that just doesn't work. You gotta cooperate, much like we do in the United States, where when the Democrats are in, they clamp down on the Republicans, and when the Republicans are in, they clamp down on the Democrats.
So we just
we don't shoot each other.
So we just keep funding both sides, no matter who's in charge in Africa. We just keep funding both sides.
You have a bill that funds some business venture, and then it also has money for the mole rats that are being displaced by the undergrowth clearing in California.
Yeah. And we'll have some shrew research soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, we got shrew research, and you have all of this stuff going on, and of course the CDC is upset, and all the universities are upset because Trump's people are clamping down on the grants for research, and they're saying, you can't do this. This is vital research, and blah, 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 blah. And what are you researching? Let's find out. We're researching how to help children transgender and go from being a man to a woman or a woman to a man. Okay. Is that really valid? Do we have any real evidence that there are people who were born female in a male body other than some genetic problem? We don't have any research on that, Ken. This is just the plastic surgeons and a bunch of left-wing loonies trying to make and invent a disease that doesn't exist. And you say, why would they do that? Well, because they think that the more diversity there is, the more they'll be protected. So if you're in some aberrant part of society that was formerly illegal or has a lot of scrutiny, and you want to hide, then what you do is you make sure you got a lot of people out there with you.
That's true.
Does that make sense?
It does, yes. Get lost in the crowd,
Yeah, and they're afraid they're going to be locked up for being cuckoo, and they are cuckoo, and they should be locked up, but we're not funding locking people up anymore, so we let them run wild in the streets. Out in California, you can camp out anywhere you want. You can use the bathroom anywhere you want. And there's a lot of freedom in California.
Well, we got a lot of fires put out, so maybe that's not a bad idea.
Yep. And
you got to put them out somehow.
Got enough people peeing.
Yeah, no more fire problem.
Well, yeah, that'll end the drought, too.
Oh, yuck.
Now, California may not be the place you want to live if you don't like bad odors, malodors. So.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
Take it good with the bad.
So DOGE is going after the low-hanging fruit right now, and they've cut a couple billion, which is nothing. So, but Elon thinks he can cut $2 trillion, which would be a third of our budget, since our budget is now $6 trillion a year. $6 trillion, Ken. What the hell are we paying for?
Everything.
Everything.
Around the world.
Around the whole world. And, I got into an argument with one of the Canadians, and she said, well, we're getting more fentanyl from south of the border than you guys are getting from our side. And I said, yeah, but what about border security? She says, we have agents and troops all over the border. We got more than you do. And so Like, wait a minute, this doesn't sound right. How can they afford that?
She's out of her mind.
And Ken, you know what? You know how much the Canadians spend of their national budget every year on defense?
About $1.50?
2%. You know how much
2%.
we spend?
I'm not sure how much. How much are we spending right now?
It's usually around 20%. It goes up and down a little bit. So we probably spend more money on defense than all the other countries in NATO combined.
Probably, yeah. They might want to contribute to that, those Canadians.
Yeah, and it's just amazing to me that people are so blind to how much of the world we actually support and carry.
People love our nuclear shield, but don't want to pay for it.
Yeah, and the Canadians, they can do what they want because they've got their big brother on the southern border and mom on the, we're on the western border too. And then they got mom on the eastern border and they got Greenland between them. And
that's right. No wonder they don't want to become the first. That's a pretty sweet deal they got there right now.
And you know what? They can stay the way they are. We don't want them as a state.
They'd be complaining like crazy because they would lose their health care. They'd be absolutely hysterical.
Oh, they'd be hysterical. You should hear them complain about having to pay for travel insurance and how unfair it is, and they have to actually do some work and fill out some paperwork and this and that. And they don't like that a bit, because, well, when we're home, we get everything free. So what are you talking about? You're paying 30-40% taxes for your health care. You're paying 25 to 30% in withholding taxes alone for health care.
And there's sales taxes.
Value-added taxes at the provincial level.
Exactly.
And Ken, booze is almost twice the price of down here because of all the taxes they put on it. I mean, what kind of a country does that? That's sacrilegious.
You're right. You're absolutely right. We can't have that here.
You cannot. It's just not a good thing.
Let them stay up there. Let them have their little country.
Yeah, let them stay where they are, but make them pay more. Damn it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if somebody
I'm
wants
tired
to
of carrying the whole world on my back. I'm getting older and sore.
If somebody wants to nuke Canada, we'll make a deal. We'll protect you for how much a month?
Can we send some of our left wingers up there? They fit right in.
Hey, that's a good idea, Doc. Let them.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I think they would fit in much better with the philosophy of Canada.
Yeah, and that's fine. You want to go up there and not have free speech and not be. You stop and think about it, Ken. If you go to Germany as an American liberal, you're going to be shocked. I mean, people don't walk out in the streets. They stay on the sidewalk. And you go to France and you put your feet up on the seats in the subway, and some little old lady will come by and whack you.
Yeah.
And tell you to get your feet down, and say we don't do that here. I mean, it's so different. We're so unruly and
loud.
And speak our minds when we probably shouldn't. But
and we tip. They hate that when we tip. For some reason, they don't like the tips. I don't know why.
Well, because they get a minimum wage. They get paid, and they make their money off of selling the food. So the waiters and waitresses, their job is to push food and to get you in and out. And so it's a whole different way of looking at it. And it's not like they're making minimum wage. They're unionized. They make big money. Some of these waiters.
Well, okay. Well, I won't tip next time I'm in Europe then.
Yeah, don't tip them. Next time you're in Europe, just tell them to
stiff them.
Yeah, go sell food. Leave me alone.
Well, we got about 6 minutes left. What do you got, Doc?
Well, I don't know. Should I become a Taoist? Taoism.
What is that?
That's the ancient philosophy religion of China, and it's based on the mysterious principles of the universe. And it's a fascinating religion. It's an interplay between the elements fire, earth, water, wood, and metal, and the interdependence between the microcosm and the macrocosm. It sounds like my kind of thing, this universal stuff. And the concept of non-action or living in accordance with nature and natural flow of the universe. And they believe in spiritual immortality, but not in the sense that you're going to go to heaven, but that your soul kind of blends back in with the universe, which goes along with my idea of the Bosun's particles and all that. We'll all be ground back into stardust anyway. I'm going to come back as a whole galaxy in my next life.
A whole galaxy? Wow.
Yeah, I've got big dreams.
That's pretty big, Doc.
Yeah.
I'd settle for just a planet.
Okay, well, we'll let you have one.
Thank you.
So then they believe that humans and ants...
I understand. Thanks. I appreciate the offer. Is there any...
That's Google AI.
I was going to say, what was that?
Now, wait a minute. I got to shut Google AI off now.
Yes, absolutely. AI taking over everything. I told you
it's
it would,
taking
Doc.
over everything.
It's
jumping in on the show. It's not your show, damn it.
I said your show, our show, this show.
Yeah, I know, but it's not Google's show.
No, it's not, so stay off it.
That's right. So, and then the belief that people can find balance through their own actions and that they don't have to turn to God to find that balance, which is another thing that I believe. And I say, now here's the thing, Ken, look, if you found out tomorrow that there was no God and no heaven and no hell, would you change the way you lived?
No, not at all, probably.
Okay, then you're okay not to go to church. But a lot of people say, yeah, I wouldn't be as good a person. Well, then you need to keep going to church or temple or synagogue or mosque or whatever because you're a no good, low down, dirty, rotten human.
Yeah, I've always lived my life by the golden rule, at least tried to. So do unto others as you would have them do unto you, and the whole world would be a much better place.
Oh, I thought it was get all you can.
No.
Before the other guy gets there.
No.
That's not it? Okay.
That's the wrong kind of gold. You're thinking about it. That's where the gold word had you mixed up there.
Oh, okay. So it's not the gold rule. It's the golden rule.
Golden rule, right, exactly.
Okay, all right. So so we have to learn to live in harmony with the universe and become one with it. And the best way to do that is how, Ken?
To become one with the universe? Is to die.
And live in harmony is to listen to Dr. Bill.
Oh, well, that's before you die.
Well, I'll be back. I'll be back as a whole galaxy, so keep your eyes open.
Okay, Handelman Galaxy. Billions and billions of stars. Yeah.
So then the Taoists, they have hygiene practices like avoiding meat and wine and the 5 grains. I don't know why, but every religion.
How do they feel about pizza? Is pizza okay? If
pizza's okay, pizza's on the list.
I'm on board then.
And they have some weird sexual practices, and it's a different religion. But some of the basic tenets are nice, like Buddhism. They're this universality, and the universe is infinite and goes on. And if I'm not careful, this show will do the same.
This show is already infinite, Doc. It already will go on in outer space. Right now it's traveling at the speed of light.
It is. And guess what? It's also somewhere in the cloud, in the internet cloud. It's being stored somewhere. And so you can always go find old shows.
If you want to, sure, absolutely. If you missed a show 1 week, it's on the old internet there.
All right, so AI's moving in, and another thing is the IonQ, the stock that I bought.
How's it doing?
Well, I'm not even looking at it. That's a 10-year hold. But everything I'm reading says that with AI, that this is going to be not only necessary but integral to these quantum computers, the bits and the qubits.
Right.
Because they're so much faster, because there's nothing moving. It's just the spin of the electrons.
But it needs a massive amount of power.
Well, it's going to take less power than NVIDIA's chips, because you're not pushing the electrons around.
Has their stock gone down now, finally? A little bit?
NVIDIA, is it coming back up? I think NVIDIA is back up, isn't it?
Is it back up already? Okay, I know it took a little dip.
Yeah, it took a dip. Yeah, absolutely. With, what was it, the DeepSeek? And now the government's thinking about outlawing DeepSeek for it. The DeepSeek is one of the AIs that you can put on your cell phone, but it's from China.
No, we don't want that.
And of course, everybody who knows anything about this is now coming out and saying, "Come on, this is not what they're saying it is, and it's not as good." And they're actually using the same chips that we used 5 years ago, because those chips are not in the open market.
Well, then it's not as good, no.
It's hard to believe some of the stuff that we hear and see that sends panic into the population and the markets. It's kind of like this stuff. If we cut off the USAID funds, that the little children in Biafra are going to starve, and that was 50 years ago. So
yeah, I know.
I don't know, Ken. Sometimes I just sit back and scratch my head and say, how can people? It's all driven by emotion. It's all emotion.
Right.
It's all emotion.
And people who know how to play on your emotions are doing
They're going to do it.
They're doing it now. They've been doing it.
And, my son is in advertising, and he said, "Pop, you don't understand. It's not about what you need. It's about what we make you think you need." That's
right.
What a good advertiser does.
That's right.
And so these people are advertising for their little part of the universe.
Have you seen the newest? The newest thing is the overall body deodorant spray. This is the newest thing.
Is that the Lumi or whatever it is?
I don't know what it is, but you can put it everywhere. It makes everything smell good, I guess. I don't want to get
Yeah,
into
and it was developed by an OBGYN, a female OBGYN, I guess. Her husband
You got about 40 seconds here, Doc. What else? You want to say goodbye? Give the number and the address and all that stuff?
Absolutely. And don't forget, you can get me on Facebook. William Handelman is what you have to type in. Now, I am also at 6399 38th Avenue North in St. Petersburg, Florida, if you want to come see me as a patient. Or you can have a telemedicine visit with me at 727-384-6411, 727-384-6411. Call, and the girls will schedule you, and we'll hit you up for a visit. And anywhere in the United States or its territories or outlying provinces.
Say bye, Doc.
Goodbye, Doc.